What's good, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Melvin Journey. And in today's episode, I'm introducing a new segment on the channel, which is going to be a podcast type between the outgoing generation and the newer one. And where better to start than between myself and my father? So, in today's episode, I'm going to introduce a topic and we're going to have a discussion with the old man. You're not going to be seeing his face for two particular reasons. The first one is he's worked high up in national security, and we don't know if revealing his identity might come with its own disadvantages. So, because of that, we don't want to. And then the second is he's getting quite old, he's having a health decline, and we wouldn't want to also show that on television. So, getting to that, the very first topic I want us to talk about is when I was in medical school, everyone had almost everyone. So I'll say 70% of us were more like, my parents asked me to do medicine, that's why I'm here. My parents asked me to do medicine, that's why I'm here. So I really want to ask the question, or it begs the question, why do our parents choose our career paths for us? So, Daddy,
Yes.
why do you think that parents, and by parents I mean your generation, why do you think that you guys choose our career paths for us?
Yeah. One thing is that all informed parents admire certain professions in their families,
Okay.
e.g., the medical profession, the legal profession, accountancy profession, and so on and so forth. So they will study their children, very intelligent ones. They may choose one of these professions for him or her to practice, to go into.
But why don't you think that is a bit disadvantageous to the child? Because if a child is, let's say, two to the ages of between the ages of 2 and 16, or let's say 2 and 14, they don't really know what they want to do. For I'll use myself as an example. When I was young, because I had a couple of teeth removed, and then I told you guys that I want to be a doctor so I can revenge and then remove the doctor's teeth. That was the basis for everyone to tell me that I was going to be a doctor because I said it.
Yeah.
But you know that when a child is that young, they don't really know what they're saying. And maybe later in life, when they grow up, they'll have something that they themselves want to do or anything of that sort. It didn't cross your mind that, oh, maybe my child was too young. He didn't know what he wanted to do. Or you just look at it like, if he's smart, we think that this is the best option for him.
Yeah. Uh, exactly so. That is why it is necessary for the parent to introduce the child to these various professions that he would like to be in his family. For instance, law, for instance, medicine, accountancy, for the child to choose one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have an instance. Let's say I'll use the family as an example. My sister wanted to be a journalist, and I feel like I do agree with your decision for you to not support her choice in journalism,
Yeah.
because looking at the kind of environments that we are in, just recently some journalists got beaten up on television, and once in a while we hear that some of them have been assaulted and stuff like that. Is it the case where you feel like you know better than your children, that the child is pursuing a passion that might actually be dangerous to him in the sphere of, let's say, depending on the geographical location?
Yeah. We know the hazards associated with every profession. That is why we will not allow our children to join some professions, e.g., journalism. It has got its own hazards, especially when you are to report in a war zone, for instance. If you are sent to a war zone to go and report, the tendencies that you may get a stray bullet and get drop dead is there.
So is it that the
So,
people whose children are currently in those kind of professions, that the parents don't love their children, or
no, not that they don't love their children. They may not be aware of some of the hazards of those professions. That is why.
what if they were aware and still were like, oh, okay, this is your passion, so just pursue it to that is. Whatever happens to you will happen to you.
Well, that one they are leaving it to God. That they are leaving it to faith, so that they can go in and inconsequential of the hazards.
Okay. But between the time where you guys were choosing our professions for us and now, times have changed. Times have changed in the sense that not everything is about school anymore. We've seen millionaires who've come out of basically the internet. People do the weirdest things for and get money nowadays. Nowadays, people just sit down on the internet and talk and get money. There's a group of people who are called streamers. They just show what their daily life is about and they make money and stuff like that. So let's say you have a child now and he tells you that, oh daddy, and people play games. You see the same games that people were telling me not to play. People play games and then they make money, like big amounts of money. So let's say now your child comes up and tells you, oh daddy, I want to be a gamer. All I want to do is to sit in my room, have a PlayStation 4 or 5, and then play games. Would you agree for that child to do that, or you think that job should come with a certain level of prestige?
Yeah. Game playing, for instance. What is your professional name, or which profession do you belong to?
I'm a gamer.
A gamer. Well, our generation don't know anything called gamers. So what we know are the ones we will advise you to do, like medicine, law, accountancy, so on and so forth.
What sort of the situation where your child is a gamer and then you actually see that the gaming is bringing money? Is it not the aim? Is the aim not to see your child being financially secure?
It's not always money. Money is not the end to every question or every need in life.
Why?
If, for instance, you are a medical officer, you will touch the lives of so many people, which means you are beneficial to society.
But what if I touch the
But
lives of-
if you are a gamer,
Mhm.
you hide in your corner and do something and get your money and use it however you want to. Nobody knows where you get your money from, and people will not associate themselves with you.
Oh no, I think that the world is changing to the point where there are some popular gamers, but to say the world will not associate with them, you are a bit right on that trajectory. Is that the world will not agree with them? I feel like the world agrees with them, but in their own way. They have the rooms where they are being invited to. If a gaming company wants to promote their game or something of that sort, that is their own world. They are not touching the world like you say in a more impactful way, as in they are not saving lives, they are not helping people get out of jail, or they're not doing something that is morally plausible, something that we can clap for them and say, okay, this thing that you've done is really right.
Yeah.
But the world also integrates with them in its own way. But the part about everything not being about money is what I want to ask you a question about. So let's say I go about touching lives. I've touched as much lives as I can touch. And then in the end, I sit at home, retired, or let's say something happens and I don't have money. What is the point of touching the lives? Because I will regret not having money in my old age or something of that sort. Because you see, a country like Ghana, we see soldiers, doctors, people who've done very consequential stuff. They are retiring, and in retirement, it almost feels as if they are unemployed.
Yeah.
So, in a space like this, wouldn't we say that money is everything? Because we've seen some quote unquote useless adults who have a lot of money and they are enjoying their adulthood, yes, their wealth. Then we see those who've also made the big impact. And in terms of someone like Kufuor like this, he has made a lot of impact and he still has money. So in his old age, both the impact and the money are working for him.
Yeah.
Then there's those who've also made a bit of impact, like let me see who. I've forgotten, but I think there was this one musician. I don't want to mention a name that I'll be lying about. Who I think Ghana had to contribute for. People had to contribute when he was sick. Forgetting the guy's name. But my question still stands. At the end, don't you think that money should be more important than the impact?
Well, it depends. When you are in a credible profession, no matter your age, you can be of some use to the public or society. For instance, a medical officer, once he is sane, cannot end his professional practice, he will definitely work until he dies. So, in his old age, he can still practice and earn some income. So, also is a legal profession. Once he can walk to court, he has no age limit. So, if he can walk to court and other places, he will still keep on practicing and get income.
Now, something I've noticed a bit that is a bit different about our generations is yours likes to work.
Yeah.
Even in your old age, you want to work.
Yes.
Our generation is a generation that is considering retiring at 40, at 45, enjoying life from. You guys had a life begins at 40, and we have a life ends at 40 kind of mentality. So by 40, we want to make everything and start making plans for retirement. What advice would you give us?
That you should be patient. Should be patient in life. You should as study some of us who have gone past those ages and still alive, so that you can learn from our experiences to guide how we live. Retiring at age 40, 45, what do you do with all at least 15 to 20 years ahead of you?
Enjoyment, spending time with your children. You find it when the money comes. Because let me mention again. Enjoyment. Spending time with your family and your children. Because imagine at the age of 50, let's say you have a daughter who is a dancer or something, and she's about to have her first dance maybe on a global stage or something. It's not now that you want to explain to your boss that I want to fly to, or let's say your son is a professional footballer and you want to go maybe you want to go to the UK every Thursday or every Wednesday to go and watch his midweek kid. It's not now that you have to explain to your boss that I want to fly to this, or your job security is not so important to you anymore because you have something sitting there that you know that for the next 30 to 40 years I'm sorted. You can farm, you can pursue all the all other hobbies that old people have. Or you think that you can still do that after retirement? The normal age, 60 years.
Well, it all depends. How we of our generation, what we came to meet is what we are practicing.
Yes.
And you do your normal work up to age 60, you retire, and you start expecting your grandchildren. Whatever you want to do with them starts from at age 60, when you and your wife are at home. You keep company with their grandchildren, take them to school, bring them back. That is the sort of assistance you can give to your children. But retiring at age 40, 45, will you have the time with the strength in you? Will you have the time even to stay home with these grandchildren if you have some?
It's not like you're staying home all the time with them. It's like if you do what you love and then you make the money from what you love. Like not let's say we'll use the gamers as an example again. So let's say somebody plays games his whole life, and then by age 40 or age 45, the person has amassed like maybe some $2 to $5 billion, and that is what he knows how to do. So let's say he was playing games for 12 hours. This time he can cut it and play for just 2 hours. It's something that he likes. It's not a 9 to 5. It's not anything that can demand his time to say, okay, he needs more money. It's not salary work.
Well, if you are a game player and people know you as such, it wouldn't matter. But in this generation, we buy whatever wealth you acquire now, people would like to inquire into it. People will be inquisitive. This man, oh, he's a cocaine dealer. That's why you don't see him doing any work, but he has money. This man is a scammer. That is Sakawa man. That is why you don't see him doing any work, and yet he has money. If you wouldn't like, if you don't want to be somebody with such titles, you wouldn't like to go into this game thing you are talking of, because people don't know of your wealth. They don't know what you do to earn your income. So they will associate you with either drugs or Sakawa.
So in the end, it's good name is better than riches.
Exactly. So you earn your income and be enjoying all right, but people don't know the source. So they will associate you with bad business.
You can still make your money from good things, and then people will say it's bad.
Exactly. They'll only associate you with the bad things people do today to get money.
But even if people know that this is the good thing that you are doing, people will still, like, you cannot control what people will say.
Exactly.
Okay. I keep saying that because I'm an Ewe and I'm holding not to speak Ewe in front of the camera because not all of you will understand. To conclude, what advice would you give children who are battling their parents for their career path?
Well, it depends on the types of homes they come from. For instance, somebody like me who is raised from a decent home, I wouldn't like my children to go into professions where they cannot be associated with any tangible work, and yet they make so much money. Like what you are talking of. People will associate them with bad things,
But they are not
for that
really
matter, they will draw the family's name into those bad habits, like drug dealing or Sakawa. Yeah. So my advice for parents is that they should monitor whatever their children are doing and make sure that they don't drag the family's names into disrepute. Yeah.
Okay. So this marks the end of our particular episode. And if you've learned something, drop it in the comment section. If you have something to ask the old man, drop it in the comment section. If you feel like you object to something, object to it very respectfully in the comment section. If you come for my father, I'll come for you. That one, it's a promise. So be very respectful in the comment section. If you like the video, like it so that YouTube can show it to more people, and wait gracefully for the next one. I'll see you guys.
Thank you.